I think Mike Winger should absolutely file the complaint. Oh, that would be poetic justice, ladies and gentlemen. If Benny Hinn had his YouTube page taken down because of these.
Ruslan.
Benny Hinn, called out by Mike Winger in an amazing way, highlighting the false teaching, the false prophecy, the false repentance, and the false everything, as far as you ask me. So Benny Hinn is one of the most famous charismatic Christians out there. Really, really influential in the 90s, and then in the 2010s, and he kind of faded a little bit. And back, there's a resurgence of Benny Hinn. Mike Winger, rightfully so, made a 4-hour video going over all the grievances. We've covered it on this channel. Benny Hinn filed some copyright claims against Mike Winger, and what happened next shocked him and surprised him. More or less, he instantly regretted it.
The Jesus Image Church filed a copyright claim against my video. That didn't last very long. It lasted less than a week, I think, and then they dropped their claim. What's happening now is very different, and I would say much worse. I think it's an escalation of what happened before. Benny Hinn is directly involved at this point, and that is he actually has his representative filing copyright claims on YouTube to get my content removed from the internet. And I have proof of this, right? Because what happens is this: if you try to get someone's video removed and it doesn't work through the automated system, you can then appeal that decision and tell YouTube, no, really, you should really remove this video, to write out an appeal and explain in detail. If you do that and YouTube rejects that appeal, guess what they do? They send all that information over to the person who made the video. That's me. So here's what happened. Benny Hinn had his representative, and his name's on it. I'll show you guys some images. I'm going to actually walk through it. I'm going to read to you the email that YouTube sent me that gives me the full explanation, all the details about what happened with my video and the claims from Benny Hinn. So starting off, YouTube says, hey, there was a copyright takedown request received for your YouTube video. This is in an email I got from YouTube a couple days ago. We received the copyright infringement notification below regarding your video. We believe your content is protected by fair use. That's amazing to me that they believe that. This is rare for YouTube to actually back up a creator like this. At least in my experience, it's rare. Usually they just sort of stay out of it and they let this automated system handle things. So they say, we believe you're protected. We're writing to let you know we do not plan to remove your video at this time. You have control over your video. They go on and explain the copyright.
This is unprecedented. YouTube took the side of Mike Winger, the creator in the situation. Anyone that's dealt with these sorts of claims from YouTube knows that it's a pain. I've had them happen, and you basically escalated to the point where they, who are filing the claim, have to provide that they're going to take you to federal court within 10 business days. That's where it gets escalated to. The fact that YouTube steps in early on in the process, says, hey, we think you're fine, but I think there's still the potential of Benny Hinn taking Winger to court on this.
Owner, that's Benny Hinn, they may approach you directly to request removal or take other action. This is where I'm sort of expecting potentially a letter, like a threatening letter from a lawyer from Benny Hinn. I don't know if he's going to do that or not. We'll see. I know that Benny Hinn is prone to lawsuits. If you actually search court cases on Benny Hinn on these court case websites, you can actually see there's been a number of lawsuits that Benny Hinn has been involved in. He once, allegedly, right, I'll just say this, he once filed a lawsuit against a man for tweeting something that wasn't true. Tweeting. Wow. The man responded later on and said, I would have taken my tweet down if they would have just called me, contacted me, but he actually filed a lawsuit and then the tweet was removed, which is weird to go straight to lawsuits. You know, I reached out to Benny Hinn's ministry before I made my video. Hey, do you want to offer any defense of the things I'm going to talk about? No response. I reached out to Jesus Image when they filed their false copyright claim on my video. They never responded to me, never called me back. I gave them my personal cell phone number to their office, which I never do that. No response. So far, I've had no actual contact, but they're using the system to try to silence me. So YouTube goes on and they say, hey, this is the record. It says begin of copy notice. This is the record of the conversation that we've had with Benny Hinn's representative. So they said to Benny Hinn's rep, hey, thanks for your submission as they requested my video to be taken down. It's under review to ensure it is valid and includes all required elements. We will reply to this email when we've taken action on your request. So here's what Benny Hinn's representative actually said. They sent to YouTube about my video. It's kind of weird. Copyright the name owner. That's Benny Hinn right there. Full legal name. That's the person who's working for representing Benny Hinn. I'm not going to put that person's name up here for the sake of their just them being left alone. Their title or job position is creative manager. They're not just a regular average Joe who doesn't understand the system. They're a creative manager, meaning they should know that this is a wrong, an abuse of the system, that I'm 100% fully within copyright fair use law.
Jesus Image is a church in Florida that is ran by Benny Hinn's son-in-law, okay? So they were the ones who initially filed a copyright claim against this video because some of their music was played in the background, or a service of theirs was played in the background. That is who Jesus Image is. There's strong affiliation, overlap. They're very influential now with a lot of churches coming up that are affiliated with them. And so for folks who think like Benny Hinn is just like in some island, he's not. He's still very influential in many circles.
Everybody says that. I mean it. I even contacted an attorney and got an opinion. The opinion was you are in rock solid territory when it comes to fair use. There's specific requirements for fair use, and this is a very important area of the law right now. And I'm very, very confident that I'm well within all legal parameters of fair use. And it's so obvious that I am that even YouTube backed me up, which they rarely do, it seems to me. So that's a pretty big deal.
That's crazy.
So Benny Hinn, though, he has his creative manager abuse the system of YouTube to try to get my video taken down. They want it to be removed. In fact, that's why it says URL of allegedly infringing video to be removed. They're not requesting.
And this is straight boomer behavior, by the way. This is so frowned upon within the YouTube community. You never do this. Ever. There's been at this point probably thousands of videos made about me. Never, ever have I ever thought about taking down a critique video about me, right? Someone critiquing me, someone going over my, even if it's out of context, even if it's bad. You don't do this sort of stuff because fair use is a legal doctrine that is extremely important for what we do here.
Monetization of it. They are not just saying we want to have a claim out there that we own this content. They are saying take it down, take a whole video down. They pull out like a section of the video where they're saying I've used their content, about a 10-minute section. I didn't actually use 10 straight minutes of content. I had a bunch of clips in that 10-minute section. At any rate, that's what they presented to YouTube. YouTube analyzed the video and they ultimately rejected this. But check out what, this is important because this is the stakes for Benny Hinn's YouTube channel to be making this kind of claim. I'm looking into this, whether I should file a report with YouTube or not, to say, look, they're abusing your copyright system. I don't have a lot of faith in them, to be honest. Like, no offense to the YouTube employees. I'm not insulting you personally here, but I don't have a lot of faith in the way the system's set up, that it will actually bring proper justice to someone who's abusing the copyright system like this. So, but I might file a complaint. We'll see. So
I think Mike Winger should absolutely file a complaint.
They say under penalty of perjury that I have good faith belief that the use of the material in the manner complained is not authorized by the copyright owner, its agent, or the law. So they have to have a good faith belief that I'm violating fair use law, that I don't have that. I don't think they have that good faith belief. I think that that's not true. That's my opinion, right? I'm not a mind reader. But if you are a content manager as a job career, then you do this all the time, you're familiar with fair use law, you should know right offhand that I'm not violating anything. It's that clear. Right. Also, I understand that abuse of this tool will result in termination of my YouTube channel. That's a huge consequence that could happen to Benny Hinn's YouTube channel.
Oh, that would be poetic justice, ladies and gentlemen. If Benny Hinn had his YouTube page taken down because of these false copyright claims against Mike Winger, who's clearly within legal bounds of what he's doing here, oh, that would be amazing.
And perhaps should. I don't know if he's abusing the tool with other people or not, but it's definitely an abuse with me. This is an attempt to silence criticism that is protected by fair use law, and it is entirely appropriate and good. This is the response. Benny Hinn is not repentant. Benny Hinn is not taking back the things that he said before. Benny Hinn is trying to silence criticism, abusing a system on YouTube to do it, but YouTube has got my back. So this is the response they gave to Benny Hinn. You can look at it right here because YouTube had to send it all to me. Hi, Benny Hinn. YouTube says, thank you for your removal request. We've reviewed your request and need some more information from you before we can proceed. Please read the entire email carefully and for a complete update of each video's status. Action needed. Here's what they wanted from Benny Hinn. It says, we're concerned that your copyright notification may not be valid for the videos listed below. Please keep in mind that in many countries, it's legal to use copyrighted works in specific ways without the owner's authorization. Like here in the US, we have fair use law. Particularly for transformative purposes such as news reporting, parody, commentary, or review. Mine is a critique. It's transformative. It's protected by fair use for specific categories, right? It doesn't infringe upon the marketability of the original work. I don't use too much of any one of the videos. I use a bunch of different videos. I don't use too much of any one video. I don't play too long of clips of particular videos. I do actually provide commentary and critique for educational purposes. Right. It's all of that. Use. And this is well protected, I believe, from fair use. So YouTube pushes back and says, hey, you need to provide more. We're concerned that you don't really have a legitimate claim. Can you give us some more details? Here's a reminder on how fair use law works. They explain some of that to them. And then the response from Benny Hinn's representative is, hi there. Thank you for letting us know about this. They're telling YouTube this. We would like to provide you with additional details related to this video and additional uses of our content that we believe could qualify as copyright infringement. This is where they have the chance to double down and say, we're going to tell you why that is not a valid use. They never do that part though. In this response, they never even make one single claim to my reading that says, hey, here is where Mike broke the law. They just say he used our content. We don't want it. Why is that? Because they don't have a case. That's my view on this. Let me read on. The video in question from the YouTube user Mike Winger is over 4 hours long with our content being used throughout the entirety of the video. Below, I've provided time codes from the video in question that correlate to when that video uses our content. Please see below. And they give a link to my video and a bunch of time codes where I used their content over and over and over
again. It's like the whole video.
I use their content a lot, right? But fairly and in a protected way and in a very careful way. And these timestamps are not accurate too because they have like a 6-minute timestamp as if I used their content for 6 straight minutes when I didn't. Right? I used it interspersed during that, say, 6-minute section. That's a little misleading to just put the timestamps. Well, YouTube then responds, and now they give their official ruling. Hi, Benny Hinn. Thank you for your response. We reviewed it and provided updates below. Request declined. Thank you.
Okay, this has never happened to me before. Just so you know, sometimes a Rogan video would get claimed. Sometimes some news would get claimed. Sometimes stuff would get claimed. I have to be very polite and basically ask the copyright owner, hey, please review the video. I'm sorry for the miscommunication. There seems to be a mistake. This must have been auto-flagged. This falls within fair use. And it's always, in my experience with this sort of stuff, it's always on the copyright owner to take down the claim, to remove the claim. This was escalated once with Elevation Church and Stephen Furtick before. Thankfully, they took down the claim. This situation is crazy that YouTube ruled rare YouTube W in this situation. All right.
YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. This is like a success of the system. For content creators, like myself, I think a lot of us would say, hey, that seems like it doesn't happen very often. I'm very happy to see that. I would have expected problems. And like I had problems with my Joel Osteen video. Like I had problems with other content I've had in the past.
And I told Mike back then that he should have fought for the Joel Osteen video. Because I think he had a case there. And he didn't, and I think he should have. So this time it seems like he's down. Because I think he genuinely finds Joel is not as dangerous as Benny.
But no, they actually backed me up here, which is great. I was very careful about how I use the content. I learn all the time. I learn better about fair use law and how to handle it. So it seems to have been a success. They go on and explain, we remain concerned that your removal request isn't valid for the videos listed below. As a result, will remain live on YouTube. Now, here's where it kind of ends off. What happens next, I'm not sure. Here's what the last thing YouTube said to Benny Hinn was, if you still think this copyright removal request is valid, you may appeal this decision. Learn more about your resolution options.
So they would appeal the decision, and I don't know if it automatically gets shot back to Mike, and then Mike can shoot it back to them, and then they have to provide evidence that they're taking them to court, which would be extremely petty.
You may take back your claim at any time. So they could take the claim away, or they could appeal this decision. This implies there's something else they can do within the system of YouTube to try to continue to have my video taken down. That's where it stands now. Like, if you want to watch my Benny Hinn video, watch it quick because I don't know what's going to happen next. There's a link to it. This is a bit of an up in the air situation. I don't know what happens next. I haven't hit this stage with copyright disputes on YouTube before. I know that Benny Hinn is unfairly using the system to try to silence criticism that is proper and good because his ministry is bad. He is a bad, bad man. That's what all the evidence is telling me. And that's what I'm presenting to others is just the evidence. If what I'm doing is wrong, make a response, show where I've made error. Right. But don't try to abuse the system to silence people. That is certainly something.
And that's also very annoying that these folks never really respond or engage in any sort of meaningful conversation.
But I think everybody realizes you're not the good guy when you do this. I'm also waiting potentially for a letter because I might get a threatening letter from a lawyer. There might be a lawsuit coming. And here's my commitment right now. Okay, where I stand right now with all this stuff. I don't want to go to court with Benny Hinn. I don't want to go to court with anybody, for that matter, who wants to go to court. I don't desire it for any of those reasons. But because the motive for my video was the victims of Benny Hinn and the horrible influence he's having as he takes the mantle of Christianity and messes up churches in different places and like a huge influence in Africa and other places, as he brings harm with his bad teachings, with his deceptive practices in the name of God, in the name of the Holy Spirit, as he also represents Christianity to many onlookers who look and say, hey, if Benny Hinn is what Christianity is, then obviously Christianity is fake. So he does harm. He's bringing unbelief to the critic, to the thoughtful person who's really going to look at it and go, hey, what? And he's misleading those who are more gullible. It's just a bad situation. He's abusing victims along the way. He's telling poor people to give him their last penny, even if they're in debt, to go ahead and donate the rest of their money over to his ministry. This is bad, bad stuff. Bad stuff. Unbiblical, unchristian. No other way to spin it.
Shout out to Mike Winger, man. Here's an interesting thought. Let me see if I can find it. Could this be an attempt to destroy Benny's church from the inside? Okay, that's fascinating. That's an interesting take. Is it possible, shout out to MW for the great take in chat, is it possible that Benny Hinn's own team is intentionally filing a false copyright strike, knowing that this could potentially get his channel deleted on YouTube? How crazy would that be? How crazy would that be? Huh? I don't know, but that would be, I mean, that his channel getting deleted would be poetic justice, that he went to fight with these folks and then completely played himself. That would be amazing if that were true. According to the Bible, that prayer is extremely important in terms of us being transformed from the inside out when we get aligned with God's will. For the Christians watching this channel, I want you guys to implement these spiritual disciplines in your day-to-day life. And the only way I've been able to do this consistently is through writing down my prayers in a prayer journal that does a few things. One, it allows me to reflect and come to God humbly and ask Him to move on my behalf. And two, it allows me to document my prayers, which ultimately help me remember the very things that I was praying for and see the hand of God tangibly in my life when He answers them. So I would urge you, consider writing down your prayers. It could be in a blank notebook. It could even be on your phone. Or you could check out the one I personally designed and used from my own quiet time and spiritual discipline that I think will be a huge blessing. It's the exact structure and system that I've used for years to pray and be more consistent in my spiritual disciplines. You can pick yours up today by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.